everyone, Voodoo here, and Legion Remix is here. Now, lots of people are probably making a Demon Hunter, myself included, to level to max, either to play Devourer or just to play Legion Remix as a Demon Hunter. So in today's video, we're going over a Havoc Demon Hunter guide for Legion Remix. We're not going to go too in-depth on rotation, because frankly, it's not really needed. You get so brokenly overpowered so fast that things normally die pretty quickly. But we're going over like builds, leveling paths, and then talking about gearing, and a little bit of a rotational section for Havoc Demon Hunter in Legion Remix. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll have, of course, more Havoc content, more Devourer content throughout the alpha and beta and live stuff. And with that, let's get on to it. All right, everybody. So a big part, of course, of Legion Remix is the leveling. So instead of just showing you the leveling build, what I'm going to do is we're going to walk through the talent point gates together, basically. So you don't have to exactly follow what I'm doing, but this is a general way I'd recommend you to fill in your points as you're leveling your Demon Hunter. So we're gonna do the first gate on the Havoc tree, swap back to class tree, and so on and so forth. So Havoc tree side, obviously, first point goes into beam. After that, I would point a point into Insatiable Hunger. The reason for this is that you are going to be using Demon's Bite until you unlock Fellblade on the spec tree, sorry, the class tree. And this is just a really good thing to do with it. After that, you want to rush down to First Blood. Doesn't really matter which way. I would say Burning Hatred first into First Blood, because Burning Hatred both unlocks Demon Hide, but also just gives you more Fury. And from there, you want to just spend points to fill out this gate. Demon Hide first, then Critical Chaos, then Deflecting Dance, and then Netherwalk. And then boom, your gate's done. On this class tree side, it doesn't really matter. None of this stuff is really that great. I would start with Blazing Path from the Charge of Fell Rush, then take Shadow Restoration for more healing, and finally Charred Warblades for more healing. Then come down the left side for more Fury, the Glaive stuff, which doesn't really matter. And then Chaos Nova, and then just put points where you want. I would grab Improved Disrupt because more yard range is great, and then I would honestly just take Consume Magic. There's some buffs you can purge. Objective Design is like a 3% parry chance, which maybe helps you live Heroic World Tier a little bit more, but it's not really a big deal, so one of those two nodes. Back to the spec tree, I would take these three talents. Initiative is insane for just in general whenever you're fighting many mobs, which is what we're doing. Scars of Suffering is really good for versatility, and then finally Chaotic Transformation actually gives you some oomph when you use meta. From there, you want to path down this right side of the tree, 2 points in Dancing with Fate, then Trail of Ruin, Growing Inferno, and Burning Wound, and fill out these 4 nodes. I would do Looks Can Kill first, because it's a little bit more damage, and then Blind Fury, and finally Furious Gaze. Again, you can do that in kind of any order you want, as long as you're grabbing these 4 nodes before you unlock the bottom part of the tree. Back in the spec tree, we want to rush down to Demonic as fast as we can, and we want to do that through Fellblade and Soul Rending, because all these talents are really good. Once you grab Fellblade, make sure you swap over to Demon Blades. Demon Blades is a lot better for leveling. You might not like it as much if you're someone who likes pushing a button more, but at this point in your leveling journey, you have enough Fury and Haste and other buttons to push that getting the Fellblade resets with Demon's Blade is a lot better than just using Demon's Bite. So grab that, come down to Soul Rending, and then finally Demonic. At this point, there's a lot of options. You're basically just trying to unlock the final gate here, but also grab some of their damage nodes. I would grab Illidari Knowledge first, and then grab Aura of Pain, because at this point, Immolation Aura is doing like reasonable damage, but not too big, and living is more important, but you can swap that if you'd like. Then you have a choice. You can come down and grab Pursuit first for more movement speed, which can help you leveling in open world. Doing that would just be Champion the Glaive and then Pursuit. Or you can come down the right side of the tree here, put 2 points into Infernal Armor, and grab Will of the Illidari. This is a bit more survivability and some damage. Again, it's not much. And then finally some more health. And then, of course, we're going down the right side, left side here, grabbing Pursuit, and we're going to finish off with Fellfire Haste to unlock the bottom gate. Back on the spec tree, we want to grab Inner Demon, Cycle of Hatred, and then Glaive Tempest. And then at that point, we're going to come down and fill out these left nodes here. I would probably grab Essence Break just for more damage, because at this point you probably don't have that much Critical Strike. Otherwise, you could sink 2 points into Know Your Enemy, then grab Essence Break, and then grab a Fire inside. It's all kind of up to you. I would grab these 3 nodes first. They give you a lot more like upfront burst damage. Same with Essence Break. That's why it's kind of that good. But Know Your Enemy is very strong with all the crit we have. So anything here is good, but Essence Break is 1 point. This is 2 points. That's kind of why I'm recommending that. But again, you know, whatever order you want. Grab those, grab a Fire inside, and finish off our tree by grabbing a Rage Fire and 2 points into Disposition. On the class tree, we want to rush down the left side to grab Collective Anguish, just for more damage, more healing, stuff like that, and some nice mastery. We'll grab Darkness into 2 points of Rush of Chaos, so that Metamorphosis has a 2-minute cooldown, finally. Finally, the Hunt, and then we'll put whatever points we have left into the right tranche here, and boom, you've hit 70. Once you've hit 70, I would go through and start to unlock your Eldrazi Reaver tree. Doesn't super matter. You can play Felskard if you'd like, but Felskard's a lot worse than the tier set, so we'll recommend Eldrazi Reaver, and you get so many souls while you level. As Eldrazi Reaver, you want to grab through the Eldrazi first, and then come down the right side. Normally for hero talent trees, you want to get the capstone as fast as possible, but the capstone actually doesn't work for Eldrazi unless you have both this node and this node. This is the AoE node, which allows you to cast through the Eldrazi basically after you Reaver's Glaive, which is really good. So we grab it first, then we come down the right side for Reaver's Mark, the other enhancement, and then some more additional funnel. This side gives you slightly more souls, which doesn't really matter. This side gives you funnel, which can be quite good for killing boss mobs or rare mobs or just like elites that are in packs with other stuff. So we'll come down the right side, grab Thrill, and then you have some choices. If you're finding that you can't live as easily, you can grab this node first, Incorruptible Spirit, come down the middle row here and do that. You also have the reset on Fellblade here, which feels pretty good. If you want more damage, you can go left side of the tree, but again, realistically, it just depends what you want. The left side of the tree isn't a lot of damage, but survivability from the middle is quite nice, so just pick there, and then fill out the other one and finish with this node. This node's pretty bad. You'll take Preemptive Strike, but it's not good. And this is your leveling build. You can play this in the open world if you'd like. At this point, I would swap over to the build you'll be playing at max level, which is this one. So this is the normal build we play on live right now for Eldrazi Reaver, which is very good. I would not recommend Felskard on Remix because, again, we don't have the tier set. There's so many souls from things that die all the time, and all the haste, all the crit we have scales super, super well with Eldrazi Reaver. So this build's all about the glaive damage stuff from Soul Scar, from Scream Brutality, from Accelerated Blade, and then you just have stuff to generate souls here. I haven't done any high level Mythic Plus on Legion Remix yet. I don't know if I will, but obviously you can just like solo everything. So I'm not sure if Immolation or stuff's even good because things generally won't live long enough. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you can just also play like a Mythic Plus build, which would drop these points basically. Come down here, grab this, and then there's one more point that has to go here like that. And then you'd swap this over there. But like, I don't really think it's needed. So I would just play this. So those are talents. We'll do a quick little rotational thing, and then we'll talk about gearing a little bit. I actually almost forgot. The biggest thing about Legion Remix is the talent tree here. So this is your artifact weapon, basically. And you only have, every single class is the same tree here. This is also very, very important. And basically what this is how you infinitely grind. This is how you grind stuff. So everything you do gives you infinite power, which can be spent on this tree here. Now I haven't gotten my capstone yet, which you put into endlessly. I'm almost there. But this is a very, very good tree, and we'll walk through it. So we'll reset everything here and walk through it. So I would recommend the Fell Branch, but again, we're going to break everything down. So you want to grab Remix Time. Remix Time, of course, is very, very powerful, and you have to grab it. This causes you to recover all your cooldowns, which is really good. We're going to just run through all these nodes here. These nodes are quite strong. We give you agility, stamina, and speed, and honestly are better than all of these big nodes. But it is what it is. I would recommend that you unlock all of these nodes here before you start to put points into your Twisted Crusade and stuff like that, because again, these nodes are much cheaper. Like the most expensive one here is 1,000, whereas this node here is 8,000. So by the time you can actually unlock this, you can get pretty much the entire tree. But from this point, we have to grab Nostrils and Patience, which just gives you speed. And then I would grab both of these nodes here, the speed rating node and the stamina nodes. This will speed you up. Grab stamina first, and then grab this one. And then things don't really matter. You can get some health regen, you can get some falling prevention, which is quite good, but we have wings, so who cares? You can get 30% increased damage in your first attack, which is probably the best first option to get, which unlocks a stamina node and a speed node. And then I would grab this one here, gives you some fury, and then an agility node. And then I would grab health regen, the agility node, and then just finish with this one because, like, why not? It gives you some damage, and you get some damage done whenever you fall, so it's nice there. And then just run straight down the Fell node. We will break these down, and I'll talk about why the Fell node is good, but just wanted to show that. So the Fell node's good because the demon does a shit ton of damage, basically. Every minute and a half, you call forth a demon, which just like blasts your target and does AoE around it. You have a special effect here where you and your minions' damage applies Fell Touched, which every 4 seconds, the enemies with Fell Touch burst of damage dealt to them, which is quite good. You have a dot that you apply to targets as they deal damage to you, which is like fine. You have Call of the Legion, which whenever your demon goes away for 30 seconds, your crits will summon little guys, basically, which is really cool. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's pretty fun. And then your ultimate here is that whenever you use your ability again, so after I summon the demon, I can use this and I'll Fell Spike it. They'll deal a ton of damage to enemies within 30 yards, and they all become fel touched, which is this. So this is really good because the demon does a ton of damage, but also the fel spike does a ton of damage, and then the touch of malice does a ton of damage. Now, it's possible to nerf this, in which case you'd go nature. Nature is good because of this, basically giving you 30% damage at all times. Then also CDR on everything, which is quite good. The thing with this is that it's very good also as a support option because you can use it. It gives your allies cooldowns as well, giving you 100% faster cooldowns, which means you get more uses of Twisted Crusade for your allies. So if you're in a group and pushing like, I don't know, like plus hundreds, I don't even know how high things are going to go right now. People are doing 30s pretty easily. Then this will be quite good for one of you to have, but otherwise I would just rock fel. Fel is the best. And then of course, once you've done this, every point you have left goes into limits unbound, which is 1% verse, stam, and agility. So there you go, that's that. All right, so we're gonna cover the basic little rotation here. We'll just do a little opener. We're not gonna do anything past that. What you wanna do is just use your glaive, empower everything, and then just pop your demon. So the demon takes a bit to get going. So we're gonna pop demon first. We'll do like ML pre-pull, pop our demon, sigil of flame. We're gonna hunt in, throw our glaive out, eye beam, fel blade, chaos strike, essence break, death sweep, meta, and vengeful retreat together. Death sweep again, annihilation, eye beam, sigil of spite, annihilation, and death sweep. At this point, you should have another glaive. At this point, we're going to rewind in time and get all of our CDs back. We're going to use that, throw it out. At this point, we want to use our demon again to fel spike it, throw our glaive out, chaos strike, eye beam, backflip and essence break together, death sweep, and then just push chaos strike and everything else on cooldown. So by doing that, you get a lot of burst damage. Now, most of it's going to be this, although I actually don't even know if fel spike hit my target. So you do want to be closer to your target whenever you fel spike, of course. And now, whenever we crit, we're going to start summoning little guys, which is pretty fun. And you crit so much as Havoc because there's so many like, little damaging events that happen. Boom, I got little guys here. They're going to do some damage. That's basically the opener, right? You just want to use all of your abilities, get your opener in, and then rewind time to get basically all those abilities back, and you do a lot of damage that way. Honestly, things should basically die at this point, but just keep pushing your buttons on cooldown, and you'll do fine. The other thing is that for Reaver's Glaive, you basically always want to Blade Dance second. So I throw my Glaive out, I Chaos Strike, and then I Blade Dance. And I basically am always doing this, so don't worry about like the complexities to it, just always do that. You'll be more than fine. All right, so the final piece of the puzzle here is gearing. Now, I'm not like a crazy high eye level. I'm basically max, and I've done like a little bit of grinding of gear there, but not like anything crazy. So don't like, you know, I've been busy. What can I say? But basically when you hit max, what you want to do is start gearing through different sources. Now, the biggest things are going to be through these motes. And you get these motes from basically every single activity you do. These chests get them, which come from quests. So if I open this, I got one mote, I got a chest. Now, gear rewards from these chests doesn't go above 578 or 584, so it becomes useless eventually, but you can scrap them for infinite power, which is good. But more importantly, it gives me a mote. And when I have 10 of these motes, what I get to do is I get to right click this and consume them, and it gives me a piece of gear that is an eye level upgrade for me, and can sometimes also give you Artifactium Sand, which increases the eye level of your weapon. This cloak is a 591 over my 584, which I'm obviously going to take, and now I have a higher eye level cloak, which is nice. The other big thing is this, Fragmented Memento of Epoch Challenges. What these do is once you have 100 of them, you can use them and gain a ton of infinite power and a ton of stamina. Now, I haven't gotten to the point where I can use this yet. These come from basically all raid bosses. LFR, you get like not very many of them. Normally you get like 2 to 8. Heroic, you get more. Mythic, you get a ton. And then doing keys as well will give these to you. And the higher level of key you do, the more of these you get. Same with motes. Motes come from basically any source. Normal dungeons is a really great way to farm these. At my point, I can almost solo normal dungeons, which is fun. So doing a normal dungeon boss will give you like 2 of them. Completing a quest will give you 1 or 2 of them. And then doing higher level content will also give you more of them. And that's basically the main loop of gameplay. So you're doing these things that gives you motes and gives you fragmented mementos of epoch challenges, which gives you more gear, gives you more infinite power, and the more infinite power you have, the better you get through this. The other important thing is this thing in your currency tab known as infinite knowledge. I have 11, you can definitely get more of them. What these do is these come from different achievements, and each one you have increases your infinite power gains by about 5%. Now, there's a ton of different ways to do this, and we will throw something up on the screen to show you, but just for like a demonstration, if I search infinite power here, all these Legion dungeon ones give it, right? So by doing each of these dungeons, All of the Wardens, Blacker Colt, Assault and Hold, I get 5% more knowledge. And there's one of those for every single like category of dungeons. So Power of the Ancients, right? Ashara, Archway, Court of Stars, 1 infinite knowledge. And then there should be one more here for Threats of the Isle, which is Lair, Maw of Souls, Halls of Valor, Darkheart Thicket. So doing that again will give you 1 infinite knowledge. And getting this infinite knowledge is very important because it gives you more infinite power, which is the main way to scale your character. Because every single time you do 1% verse, and then more agility and stamina, which is very, of course, very, very good. So farming out infinite knowledge, farming out infinite power through, you know, mementos and just other stuff. Scrapping gear gives you infinite power. Basically everything in the game gives you infinite power. Killing mobs, dungeons, all that stuff. And then getting Motes of a Broken Time to give you eye level upgrades, because they'll always give you an upgrade as long as you're at a baseline eye level. At a certain point, like if you're not, like I'm 584 right now, when I still had greens, it was sometimes rolling a 584 item I didn't need. But at this point, it's now going to give me stuff that probably will be quite useful for me. In terms of stats for gearing, doesn't really matter. Crit and mastery are your best, but you get so much of all of them, like who cares? The final thing that matters for gearing are these. So you'll notice I have some extra points in some of these places. Like this is 6 out of 3 instead of 3 out of 3. This I have highlighted, this I have highlighted, this I have highlighted, and this I have highlighted. So in this version of Remix, what you get from your jewelry and your trinkets are additional ranks of some of these effects. So the best of these, if I open up my thing properly here, sorry about that, are going to be Touch of Malice, Volatile Magics, and Terror from Below. And you'll see I have stuff in other places. I have Souls of the Caw, this, and this right now. Don't worry about those. Just because of the gear I have. Eventually in full, if you can choose, you want to get Touch of Malice, Volatile Magics, and Terror from Below. Now the thing with these is you can only have 5. Right? You get 2 rings, 2 trinkets, and a neck. Generally speaking, I think the best 2 are going to be Touch of Malice and Terror from Below, although magics can be very good as well. So generally what I would do is try and get 2 Touch of Malice, 2 Terror from Below, 1 Volatile Magics, but any combination of that's going to be really good. So I wouldn't really worry too much as long as you have Terror, Magics, and Touch. And honestly, like eye level for rings is just stamina. Like at certain points during my gearing, I had like 200 eye level difference on rings that I just wasn't changing out because I wanted the effect it was giving me. But at this point, you know, the stamina difference was so great. I have like almost as much stamina as my live character does, which is really funny, despite being like 200 eye level less. So yeah, that's basically gearing. That's Remix. It's how to play Demon Hunter. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about. So these are all the infinite knowledge sources available right now. You want to try and get as many of these as you possibly can. So the important ones are going to be Legion Slayer, which is pretty easy to do, 15 powered enemies. The lore one runs, I did Stormheim while leveling, you can do the rest of them. The dungeon ones are quite easy. These are just doing the dungeons, and then this is a 7, which is like a joke to do. And then it's these raids. Do this raid at any difficulty, do this raid at any difficulty, and then do the world bosses at any difficulty. I think there's also one for doing one of the bosses on heroic. But do those. Those are the ones available in phase 1. There's more available in phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. But pretty much just like get as much infinite knowledge as you can, because every one you get is more than that. You can cap out at 36, and anything above 36 is more bronze. So try and cap it if you can. I mean, you can't cap it right away, obviously, and like good luck earning 5 million infinite power. Although some people have been grinding and probably are close to that. But just do as many as you can. Get infinite knowledge, get more gear. That's the loop, basically. And eventually you can just solo shit. So easy, easy, easy. So hope you guys enjoyed. This is the guide. Abrupt ending, sorry for that, but it is late. I've been busy. I'm moving soon, so I'm packing, stuff like that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is going up on Canadian Thanksgiving as well. So happy Thanksgiving to all my Canadian viewers. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Hope you guys are enjoying Remix. I know I am. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Correlated. Thank you to Alexander Trifunovic, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, R Palms 46, Fasu Terceros, Zuligan, Dupe, Spaghetti, Gabriel Correa, Magic Man 133, and Felfadern Dark Terror. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, but especially to those of you who are supporting the channel. Helps me make content, of course. If you want to support the channel, get your name shouted out at the end of the video. Consider becoming a channel member down below. There'll be more perks coming soon-ish for channel members. Trying to work on that a little. And again, thank you to everybody. Also, go follow me on Twitch, stuff like that. And y'all are awesome. See you guys next time. Peace.